What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Finn is shocked by Luna's return. Carter's hope. Heartbreak. According to the Bold and the Beautiful, once Lee Finnegan lets out her vindictive rage, John Finn Finnegan will be shocked by Luna Nozawa's return. Let's talk about what's coming up on the CBS soap opera, as Carter Walton will also be prepared for some heartache from Hope Logan. Brooke Logan's marriage to Ridge Forrester will cause Thomas Forrester to lose his temper. Thomas will become even more irate as Brooke admits that she is now Ridge's wife. Thomas will continue to hold on to the belief that Brooke is lying and manipulating events, but Ridge will reassure his son that the wedding did, in fact, take place. Thomas will continue to be angry with Brooke for snagging Ridge and destroying his intentions to marry Taylor Hayes, even though Ridge will pressure him to accept his choice. In relation to Taylor, she will argue angrily with Eric over what is best for Ridge. Although Taylor might caution that it will only lead to further suffering, Eric will undoubtedly believe that Ridge is at last with the woman he genuinely belongs with. Taylor might counter that she won't be Ridge's fallback woman the next time if Brooke breaks his heart. Luna's effort to utilize Remy Price's home as a hiding place won't last long, according to B&B. That might be related to Remy's boyfriend, who will be making his acting debut on September 16th at Forrester Creations. Remy might pressure Luna to leave before his boyfriend arrives and spots her. In any event, Harrison Cohn will make his debut as someone who eventually becomes romantically involved with Remy. Cohn is rumored to be playing Brooke's son with Nick Marone, Jack Marone, who is interested in fashion design. However, we'll have to wait and see how he plays the role. In any case, Luna will have to deal with Elle's wrath as well as a lot of Will Spencer's rage. Bill Spencer and Katie Logan. When Luna poses as Electra Forrester and takes advantage of Will's inebriation that evening, Katie will lose it. Given how low Luna fell, Bill will be as furious as Katie. Naturally, Lee may be the most irate of all because she risked a lot to save Luna. She will be upset with Lee for this predicament and end up attempting to strangle her against the wall after everything she has done for Luna. Luna will survive, but she will need to decide what to do next. Luna might announce her pregnancy outright and then figure out a means to falsify some data to prove it. Perhaps Luna hasn't had enough time to notice that she has a bun in the oven based on the tests she's taken. Would Luna be able to take another test and get the results she desires at last? Carter will have some introspection over the week of September 22nd to 26th when he discovers Liam Spencer is trying to entice Hope closer and secure a new future with him. Carter will eventually reach a devastating conclusion since he will sense that Hope is still attracted to Liam and perhaps belong with him instead. Carter might decide to end the engagement and release Hope as a result. He will soon hear from Finn about Luna's survival and the mayhem she has wreaked. Lee's decision to save Luna without telling Finn will catch him off guard and likely result in a furious argument with his mother. Sheila Sharp might play stupid with Deacon Sharp and hope that Lee will remain silent about her association with Luna until word gets out that she is still alive. There will be highs and lows during the next 2 weeks, according to the Bold and the Beautiful, so don't miss any of the action. After Lee Finnegan's dramatic outburst and the aftermath of Will Spencer's trauma, John Finn Finnegan had been living in a fragile bubble of calm created out of his devotion to Steffi Forrester, his fierce loyalty to their children, and his constant attempts to distance himself from the chaos of his mother Sheila Carter. However, that bubble was about to burst when he saw Luna Nozawa again, alive, breathing, and standing in front of him. For all this time, he had believed she had disappeared into the abyss, but the truth hit Finn with such an overwhelming weight that it left him stunned and unable to speak. Lee had once again decided that she knew best, saving Luna in secret, hiding her from the world, and manipulating events from the shadows like a master tactician whose every move had ripple effects across the Forrester, Logan, and Spencer clans. Finn could hardly process what he was seeing as Luna, disheveled but defiant, raised her eyes to meet his and whispered his name, a name that carried with it the shame of her past actions, the burden of her mistakes, and the desperate hope that perhaps Finn, of all people, the heroic doctor who had always wanted to heal, found himself struggling with emotions he couldn't fix, including anger, sorrow, confusion, disbelief, and a gnawing fear that maybe, just maybe, the cycle of secrets and betrayals that haunted his family was destined to repeat forever. Finn's mind tried to understand her and see the human being beneath the scandal, but it kept returning to Will, Katie's rageful tears, Bill Spencer's growling threats of vengeance, and Lee's detached words of justification. A choice that stoked Thomas Forrester's rage like dry tinder and sparks because he had come back from Paris with the sole intention of seeing his parents together again, But instead he found himself witnessing his father humiliate Taylor Hayes by running back into Brooke's arms. Unable to handle his father's cowardly waffling, Thomas lashed out at Ridge and Brooke, accusing her of deceit, manipulation, and stealing happiness from others for a lifetime. However, the true threat was the darkness flickering in Thomas's eyes as he started to spiral once more toward that unstable state where his obsessions and impulses overshadow his reason. While this was going on, Taylor's heartbreak was reverberating in the background as she and Eric Forrester argued about what was best for Ridge. Eric insisted that fate always brought Brooke and Ridge together, but Taylor retorted that fate was just another word for cruelty when it meant a lifetime of being discarded every time Brooke snapped her fingers. However, if the drama surrounding the Forrester family was about to fall apart, it was nothing compared to the storm that was building for Carter Walton, the man who had poured his heart into Hope Logan only to discover that he was standing in the shadow of a ghost, Liam Spencer's ghost, because no matter how hard Carter tried to be the rock Hope needed. Carter, noble and selfless as always, started to see the truth in Hope's eyes every time Liam entered the room, that unsaid pull, that flicker of longing she couldn't completely hide, and it broke him in ways he had never been broken before, not even when Quinn betrayed him, not even when his loyalty to the Forresters cost him dearly, because with Hope he had dared to believe that he was finally the chosen one, finally the man who was enough, and yet he was left staring at the realization that he was, once again. Carter, who had based his life on honesty and integrity, could not comprehend how someone like Lee could justify pulling the entire family into another abyss of deceit and manipulation. The weight of all these intertwined dramas pressed down like an avalanche, leaving Brooke showing off her new Mrs. Forrester status in Thomas's face, Ridge divided between guilt for Taylor and smug satisfaction with Brooke, and Taylor vowing never to be the fallback woman again. This made his heartbreak even more intense when he heard Finn's account of Luna's survival and the chaos surrounding her. Lee straddling the line between savior and villain as her own son raged at her for deceit, Luna considering whether to drop a pregnancy bombshell in a desperate attempt to anchor herself to someone, Bill and Katie rallying around Will in rage at Luna's predations, and Carter standing alone in the quiet aftermath of yet another broken dream, staring at the ring he thought would bind him to Hope forever. Now just a cold reminder that love in Los Angeles was always fleeting. The story had only just begun, and if Finn's shock, Thomas's rage, and Carter's heartbreak were the opening act, the encore was bound to rip families, marriages, and hearts apart in ways no one could yet imagine. Always frail, always one betrayal away from disaster, fans were left breathless and clutching the arms of their chairs as the music swelled on the CBS soap opera screen.